Oh, so you might be able to see right down there in the bottom left. Can you see him? Is he there? The Peugeot. He's parked really high up. You can probably even tell there, because we've just come up Hard Knot Pass, which is a really famous road here in the Lake District. It is the steepest road in England, and it was a hell of a lot of fun, I must admit. I'm still a little bit precious about the Peugeot, so I think I would have enjoyed it more back in the days of the Red Beast, because that thing was going everywhere. I've been over Hard Knot Pass a lot of times before, but yeah, it was a little bit sketchy at times in the new car, and it was just in and out of first and second gear, but all a good bit of fun. And it means that the hike's going to be fairly short for today's Wainwright. No points for guessing. Hard Knot, the fell itself. So I'm looking forward to this one, guys, and it's another fell, another Wainwright that I've never been up, and I don't know much about it except from two things really. Firstly, we're going to get a really nice view, a panorama of the Scafell range, which I'm buzzing for. And there's a little bit of a rock formation up here. It's like an old weathered cliff that's known as the Eskdale Needle. Very photogenic, and I'm hoping to include that and a little bit of foreground interest with the Scarfells in the background, which is nice, because a lot of the fells that I've been going up to, I've been completely blind, which has its positives as well. But it's a photograph that I've always wanted to get, really. I think it's quite a popular one, but I want to get it in my own portfolio, So, yeah, not too long to go. We'll leave the silver car behind, the Peugeot, and we'll see if there's anything worth getting the camera out for. Of course there's gonna be. So you know what? It feels like I'm cheating. We've got these incredible views already. Look at that, that is gorgeous. And I'm only 10 minutes into the hike because of where I've parked. I'm not cheating, there's nothing wrong with doing that anyway, but on top of that, it is the proper Wainwright route, Mr. Wainwright himself says you start at the summit cairn of Hard Knot Pass and up you go. But obviously doing so many of these hikes now consistently, you start to get naturally this idea of how much effort you have to put in to get the reward of the views, and just like 10 minutes in, it's absolutely stunning already. A really good spot to, I'd say, come to and keep returning with your camera, just because it'd be so easy, So I haven't thought of a photograph just yet. We see this tarn down here, just caught my eye, and I'm going to put an image up on the screen there. I caught that when I was up Seathwaite Fell, and I remember talking about the muted and quiet colours, I think are the words that I use, and I really like that photograph. And I'm just getting similar feelings, similar emotions as I look down at this little tarn here. So I'm going to scour around a little bit and see if I can find a shot. I think I want to be down on this side over there, so that we can get some of these grander fells in the background. But I'll go down there, have a little peek about and see what we can come up with. Just stunning, and what an evening as well. Whoa. Nah, it's not doing out for me, guys. It's more of a pond now that I'm down here, I must admit, and all the bigger fells, the vista that we had, is kind of behind this lump here. But not to worry, and actually it's a good little lesson as well, is don't always feel like you have to take a photograph just because you've noticed something, This is something that I always think, if I spent a lot of time around this little puddle here wasting precious time, precious landscape photography time, thinking there must be a photograph here and getting frustrated with myself, that's time that could be better spent along the hike in a more lucrative spot for your photography, So, yeah, if something doesn't feel right, trust your instinct and move on. You'll get a better photograph a bit later on. I usually do anyway. Right, I want to make a little bit of progress now because I want to start getting some of the views back towards the west and that Scafell range. I feel proper chilled out tonight. The conditions are so beautiful. It's another one of them where it's quite mild, hence the just out in the t-shirt, and I just think it is amazing, like hiking. Like, I mean, if you watched my last video, if you didn't, I'll put a link to it up in the corner, but that was just carnage. Remember the summit of that, and then there's this now. It is just so chilled out. I've got the jet boil, I've got some noodles. Let's keep going. So I've just come over the brow, I'm not at the top just yet guys, but I've just come over the brow of a hill just behind yous, and as I was walking, this incredible panorama of the Scarfell Range just greeted me, and it is stunning. Honestly, I was feeling quite chilled out before. I still am, but this could change things. Right, if you remember episode 1 of the Wainwrights, if you haven't seen it, you want to see it, I'll put it up in the corner for you to watch. That's where it all began. But you'll remember I said that Wainwright said that that particular panorama of the Scarfell Range that's behind my head here was his personal favourite, I guess, in the whole of the Lake District National Park. And I agreed until now. That is surreal, that is just something else. And I think for me, it's because you're much more up close and personal with the Scarfell Range from this spot here, from Hard Knot. We're nearly at Hard Knot now. And you can see all the details in the mountain and everything. It is absolutely stunning, you know. So I'm hoping we can get at least one decent photograph. I was thinking about this on the way up. I just want to stop and say this. You know, I say it all the time, but it's one of them evenings where I'm just feeling so grateful, you know, that this is my job. This is what I get to do all the time, and I just wanted to take another moment. I know I do this all the time, but I really mean it. I'm just not very good at expressing myself. I just wanted to say thank you to you guys once again. You know, it's the support that you give me through ebook purchases, one-to-ones, prints, buying me coffees on my Ko-fi page. All this stuff adds up to allow me to do this for a living and to make this content, which I absolutely love, you know. But yeah, thanks guys. I don't know what else to say or do other than try and keep making good content. I hope you like the Scarfell Range as much as me. That is absolutely stunning. I would say as well, I mean, I'm not even at the top yet, but I can see it. I can see the cairn. As bang for your buck hikes go, this is the #1 so far as well. And we've still got the Eskdale Needle that I was on about as well. That little rock formation, right. I'll tell you what, I'll meet you up at the top of Hard Knot, Wainwright number 17. And I'm sure we'll be getting the camera out. We're just coming into the golden hour now as well. Living the dream. Sweet. You beauty. So, Wainwright number 17. It's going to have to be a 360, especially with the GoPro. Get a look at this. Oh, there's the old Scarfell Range behind my noggin. We've got Harterfell over there as well. I love Harterfell. Greyfriar, we were up that one not too long ago. Absolutely epic. So, because of that background of the Scarfell Range, I mean, it's not to say you know you should come here and only photograph that, but I think that's what I'm going to focus on, especially because it's my first time up here, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, because that background's there, it feels like there are compositions galore. Because look at it as well. Look how craggy it is. You know, think about trying to reuse all of them rocks as foreground if you want to, because the background's sorted. You know, and the sky's looking decent for the sunset. So what I'm gonna do is really just try and concentrate on getting maybe 2 photographs and no more than that. One of them probably being down at this Eskdale Needle, which I've already kind of pre-visualised because, like I said, it's quite a popular photograph. I know what's going to be going on down there, but I've got to make some of this. Look at all the little tarns and everything. It's a pano, it has to be. So I'm in, I've got a 16-35 on, and I'm in just over 30mm, and I could shoot this, I speak about this all the time, I could shoot this with the wide angle at 11mm, but I'd rather do it as a pano, in at just over 30mm and take 4 shots across, because we're going to be, I always say this as well, repeating myself, I want to bring that Scarfell Range into the photograph and make those mountains not appear bigger in the background, but like capture what I'm seeing as I'm looking at it, you know. The wide angle lens is going to lose that, unfortunately. So yeah, pretty simple. I'm going to start over at this side and work my way this side at Scarfell, make my way all the way across the range and finish over here at, I think, like Bowfell and Crinkle Crags. And I'll go a little bit further to the left and right than what I need in case I want to crop in a little bit. But ISO 100, f8 and 1/80th of a second. And the settings are really important here, of course, because it's a panorama. I want the settings and the focus the same all the way across. Now you see over here, we're shooting directly into the sun. It's one of them days where the sky is white. There's this thin, wispy layer of cloud across the whole of the sky. So the sun's filtered down a little bit so the camera can deal with it. I don't need to exposure blend or anything, but I've set my exposure around there. So for the rest of the photograph, it darkens down a little bit, but the most important thing is that I don't overexpose this section. Now, with that being said, I mean, you can probably even see it now. It is overexposed up there. You know, the sun, we're shooting directly into the sun and it's filtering through all that wispy cloud and there's just light everywhere, like white light. And it looks amazing. So on my histogram, I'll show you a little B-roll of my histogram. Now, it is saying it's overexposed over there, but that's one of them very rare situations where personally I don't mind, and in fact I actually like it because it is overexposed. It's that simple. So I'm going to kind of keep that looking natural by almost retaining the overexposedness in that area. What an English speaker this lad is, by the way. So that's that, nice and simple. And to be honest, it's one of them where I feel it just warrants a panorama or even just a wide shot because it looks phenomenal. There's little tarns, rocks. I just want to capture it all. I don't feel like I need to mess around with composition. Again, I think this is quite a rare one. Usually I would urge people and encourage myself to think a bit more about foreground very specifically, whereas here it feels otherworldly. You know, I'd say I'd be like this if I was on Mars. I'd be like, right, panorama. But that is epic, that is epic. So I'll show you this one now. Fingers crossed that comes out alright. I think it's going to be quite nice. And then let's go and find Eskdale Needle and see what happens with the light. So there it is. I've tried to set it up in a way that my massive noggin isn't in the way. There's the Eskdale Needle and there's the Scarfell range. So pretty much how I've set it up there is going to be the composition. Whoa! It's actually a bit of a trek down from Hard Knot. It took me about 15 minutes, but it's quite steep. So if you're going to come here and do it, be careful. So yeah, it's a bit of a popular one. I think I seen it in the Outdoor Photographer magazine a couple of years ago. It's just one of them that I've always wanted to come to, you know, like the Blee Tarn shot and that. I must admit, I guess I'm at a stage now with my photography where it doesn't really excite me as much as it used to come to somewhere that's popular, well photographed, and get my own version of it, you know. I like to go out with my telephoto lens and get a lot of random abstracty shots, and, you know, this doesn't really do it for me anymore. But I mean, that is undeniably beautiful, isn't it? What a subject, what a foreground interest. It's one of them where it's like somebody's put it there for landscape photographers. Epic. So, I don't really need to talk you through it. Like I say, it's going to be pretty much that. I might even take it on the Olympus. The sunset looks like it's dying down. It's still 15 minutes till the sunset, sorry, but it looks like it's that a lot of cloud has come into the west, which is a little bit of a shame. But anyway, thank you so much for your support. Like I was saying earlier, it's yous that allow me to be here on this beautiful, serene, still evening, looking down into Eskdale and to live my dream. So yeah, thank you so much. Honestly, what a treat. I hope you like this last photograph. Please give the video a thumbs up as always. Really helps me out, and subscribe if you're new. Plenty more to come of the Wainwrights, of course. But number 17, Hard Knot. It's been a good one. I'm sure you'll agree. And thanks for tuning in. And I'll see yous on the next adventure. Out.